One of the most important components of hitting a solid forehand is to be in the ready position. Notice that my feet are shoulder width apart. My elbows are away from my body. They're not tucked in and touching my body. They're actually away from my body so that I can swing my arms freely. Both hands are on the racket in the ready position with the racket head above your wrists. I'm in the forehand grip, which is a good grip to be in for either the forehand or the backhand. But in particular, the forehand grip is important because you're always going to be holding the forehand grip in the ready position. Because at this point, you really don't know if it's a forehand or a backhand. But in this case, it is a forehand and you already have the right grip. If it was hit to my backhand, I just have to do a simple flip from my forehand to my backhand. So getting that forehand grip repeatedly in the ready position is very important. And again, remember the forehand grip is simply in the semi-western position on the bevels, and I'll show that in just a second. Your eyes and your head are facing forward, and your head is facing forward, basically facing your opponent so you can see where the ball is coming from. And you are in a very relaxed position. You can see that my knees are slightly bent here, but you're in a relaxed position because if you're too tense, you won't be able to move quickly, and the movements will be static instead of fluid. You want your movements in tennis to be fluid. So you're in a very comfortable, relaxed position when you're in the ready position. To obtain the forehand grip, we want to use the semi-western forehand grip, which if you look at the diagram, the base knuckle, which is shown in the description of your hand, you can see where the base knuckle is, which is right under your index finger. And that base knuckle goes on to bevel number 4, which is the semi-western grip. Now, if you want to find this grip easy, you can just lay the racket down flat on the ground and just pick it up. Bend over and just pick it up, and your base knuckle will be on bevel number 4 for the semi-western forehand. So it's a real easy way to find it, is just pick up the racket off the ground and you'll have the semi-western grip. So now we start our transition from the ready position to the unit turn position. And right here you can see I have not made the complete unit turn yet, but I wanted to stop it here to show you the elbows are still away from my body. My head is still moving forward. The racket is effectively right where it was when I started the unit turn. And this is a big important fact about, your racket take back. The racket take back, if you keep everything stable as you had it in the ready position, and as you make the unit turn, the racket will just naturally go back. And so I really want to show you that, and it's important because many people end up pulling the racket back instead of letting this unit turn the racket for you. You can see that I still haven't released the racket with my offhand. I keep the offhand on the racket as long as I can to make sure that as I twist sideways, my shoulder will actually turn with the racket. And so everything turns as we begin the unit turn process. As the unit turn continues right here, you can see that the unit turn is now complete. My front shoulder is now facing the net. My eyes and head is still facing forward. I've now transitioned from the ready position to a closed stance position, which is basically where I'm 90 degrees perpendicular to the baseline. That you can see that I'm perpendicular now to the baseline, but my shoulders have made a complete turn 90 degrees to where my chest is now facing that fence, and you can see the racket now has gone back as a result of my arm and my elbow straightening out while the face of the racket is still pointing down. And this is a critical part of the forehand. If that face is facing down in this position and I swing forward at the contact point, and you can see the ball coming into the frame now. So the ball is getting ready to be struck. The racket, my knees are bent, the racket faces down, my front arm is extended forward to give me a location to target where the ball is going to be, whether it's going to be high or low, or is it fast, is it spinny, is it flat? All these things are being determined right now, and the front hand plays a big part of that because it helps point out to you and your eyes and your mind where that ball is going. Now, as we come out of the unit turn, you can see we are about to make contact, and the contact point of the ball, always on your forehand or your backhand, should always try to be out in front. So you can see here the racket has not made contact yet, but the contact is going to take place about a foot in front of my front foot. That's a good amount of weight shift. And if you look at my back foot, you can see that the weight is now shifting from my back foot to my front foot merely by the back foot lifting up. So as the back foot lifts up, it's a guarantee that you're shifting your weight forward, and I will be making contact far out in front of my body. If you look at the racket and my wrist, the wrist is now laid back, and the contact point is going to come in just a second, and we're going to see that live. The off arm and the off hand is starting to swing out of the way as my body twists. And now you can see that instead of my chest facing the fence, now as I'm turning, my chest is starting to the front net and the opposing player. So my chest is completely turned now, and contact is coming. You'll also notice that the racket head is below the tennis ball before contact, so that when I do make contact, I'll be brushing up on this ball. So brushing up is a key to getting topspin, which is why we had that racket facing down as the backswing started. Now you can see how the racket face starts to open up. The ball is now leaving the racket, and you can see that the racket face is just a little bit open as I start to swing up on the ball. The ball's already leaving my racket. So the contact has been made, the spin has been produced, and now we're going to see as the swing continues how we get the top spin on the ball, because the contact's been made, and so the action with the completion of the swing is very important to how that ball spins, because we want topspin on the ball. So let's continue to watch how the swing finishes. Here we can see contact is made, the racket head continues up, and you can see the flight of the ball actually has topspin on it. And now the racket finishes over my shoulder, up high over my shoulder, and then the racket comes down. So that's a big loop at the end of the swing to make sure, that we got a proper amount of topspin. And then you can see the finish comes all the way over across my body and down. And then we start to get ready for the next shot. And so you can see now as the racket comes down, My arm starts to relax. I'm watching where the ball landed. And now I will bring my offhand up to grab the racket and to return back to the ready position to start the process all over again and anticipate where the next ball is going to be coming, whether it comes to my forehand or my backhand. I will be ready. And here we go. I'm going to grab the racket. I slowed this down so that you could kind of see the finish of the swing. And then you can see how you come back to ready position. And then you're all set. You're all set for the ball to come back again. As I get my feet a little bit more apart here and back to the ready position, you can see the foot moving over. And now I'm right back. I'm right back to where I started. Foot comes down. And I'm back in the ready position. To really get the feel for the unit turn and the contact and the finish, you've got to come out and play, with a hitting partner or, a ball machine or against the wall, something where you can just spend time and hit over and over and over again till it's very comfortable for you. The trick to this, to getting a solid forehand, is just repeatedly hitting the forehand over and over and over again the correct way. So follow this video. Practice the ready position and the unit turn and the grip of your racket. You can practice all that at home in front of a mirror. And then when you come out to the court, these movements become automatic. So you're not even thinking about it, and you're just thinking about where that ball is and where your contact point's going to be. So again, you could just see over and over and over again, that was a short hop ball, and I was ready for it because of the quick unit turn. So once you get that unit turn, once you've determined the ball is coming to your forehand, you get that unit turn out of the way fast, get to the ball wherever it's located, and be ready to step in and give that ball the best shot you can possibly give it, and you will have a great forehand in no time at all. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. And if you want to share with somebody who's maybe starting out on a forehand, please share it with someone that you know, and we'll spread the word. But the final thoughts on starting with your forehand and developing a forehand, like I said, is get comfortable, with the ready position, get comfortable with the unit turn, get comfortable with the contact point out in front and the finish. Get comfortable with all of that, and you'll have a fantastic forehand. And as always, I will see you on the court. Thanks again for watching. Bye for now.